TOA, Fit Body Forever, and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. What's up, everybody? I'm Robert Linkul, your Director of Education over at Fit Body and the owner of TOA, TrainingTheOlderAdult.com. Happy to see you all here. We are going to dive into something. This is not necessarily older adult necessarily focused. It's just kind of training overall focused. I saw this the other day. It is Jessica Biel's strength training program and regiment. And I was intrigued. I don't think this is really what she does all the time. There is a voiceover by the trainer, so we are going to listen to that as well as we kind of go into this, because a lot of what he says is kind of key in the whole, like, this is, the message that is being delivered. So let's just take bit by bit here and see how we do, and we can get some bits and pieces out of this and see what we think. All right, here we go.
People have been asking about the Jessica Biel back and arms workout, and for good reason. But the truth is, while she definitely does plenty of work on her back and arms, her workouts aren't split up into back day, arm day, and so on. She does full body workouts that combine upper body exercises, lower body exercises, core work, and a bunch of things that work everything all at once to maximize efficiency. Side note, but this is also a great way to do it if you don't want to do a bunch of extra cardio too. But back to back and arms, Jess is super strong and loves to push herself, but she's not so interested in lifting super heavy weights at this point in her life, so we find other ways to make it challenging and keep it fresh. There are lots of different moves here for you to try, and they're all great, but it's important to know that we don't do all these moves in the same workout, or even close really. In a given workout, she normally does one exercise for the back, which also works the biceps, one exercise for shoulders, and one exercise for triceps, plus some other moves for legs and abs sprinkled in. It's also important to remember that it's impossible to maintain peak physical condition all the time, and the super toned physique you see on screen isn't maintainable all year round. Jess knows that, so she spends most of the year working out consistently, but not crazy by any means. Let's call it 7 out of 10 hard. And then if there's ever a time she needs to look her absolute best, she'll ramp it up for a few weeks and then go back to normal afterwards. Actually, here's a clip from our last workout before Better Sister started filming. This was over a year and a half ago, and it's absolutely insane and shows why her back looked how it did. But in the name of transparency, she's never done this move since and has been very clear that she has no intention to do so. And after seeing her in the show, I sure ain't gonna make her do anything she doesn't want to do. Ever since the...
Okay, so first thing we kind of look at right there, I see that
Better Sister show came out.
She's got a great, muscular physique for a lean female individual. Shoulders look great. Her traps, absolutely great physique. I'm thoroughly impressed. Okay, but the coaching components to this that they bring in.
People have been asking about the Jessica Biel back and arms workout, and for good reason. But the truth is, while she definitely...
Okay, so the first thing they talk about here is the coach talks about is how she doesn't do like just back and arm day. She does full body every day. So let's just look at the exercises to start, and then we'll come back and discuss a couple more things that the coach says. Right away from here, the point of having the band on is to give you a resistance where you want to bring your hands together because the band's pulling you, but you're pulling apart. You're abducting, pulling apart as you row up. So it does recruit more from your rhomboids and, in this case, your lats and your traps. And at the same time, she's got her feet out in front of her, attempting almost to do like that L chin up that she was doing earlier. So she's kind of leveraging from this position. It's a more advanced reclined row. So I like this one. I think there's some great advantages here, and definitely very challenging. She's doing a big full range of motion. I love it. The separation at the top, boom, right there. Really, really great. These are the lifts, exercises that I look at, and I'm like, this is Hollywood BS, right? This is the stuff where you're like, what's the point of doing this? Like this has nothing to do with her back and bicep physique that was built for that show. This has nothing to do with it. You're in a side plank T-stand doing a 30-pound band single arm pull down on an unstable single leg while doing a knee raise. Like, this is just one of those things where when you make a video, you're like, we got to do stuff that catches the eye and makes somebody go, oh, that's the secret. That's what I got to do right there, so I can have Jessica Biel's lats and rhomboids. This is fine core exercise if you want to do something. There's so many more things you could do that are just more efficient than this. But that's part of what the coach talks about. He goes, oh, we like to marry things together so it doesn't take a ton of time. Well, when you start to marry things together like this one, not only is she not doing anywhere near a maximal effort split squat, Bulgarian split squat, she's not really maximizing her lateral shoulder raise ability either, because she's unstable on a single Bulgarian deep flex. Is this hard? Is it like, wow, this is burning my quads? And sure. But when you say like, oh, I want to have amazing shoulders, put both feet on the ground, grab double that weight and do regular lateral shoulder raises. Your delts would look so much better than trying to stabilize on one leg while you are down into a deep Bulgarian flexion, stabilizing, no counterweight on the other side, just a single arm raise out to the side. If you said this person has vestibular balance issues, so we did this exercise to improve, different ball game. You're like, that's what we're trying to attempt. The whole point of this video says this is how she got this more muscular physique. Again, I don't think this is probably the most efficient way. Well, I know this is not the most efficient way to train either of these. She's got strong legs. You can see them. She could probably use 30s in each hand and do really good Bulgarian split squats, and then grab 15-pound dumbbells and do really good lateral shoulder raises rather than this, right? Again, another one of these, like, we got to do something that's unique to show why you're different. Our program's different, okay? Now we're going to be in a shallow reclined ring row, isometric hold. But then we're going to do an incline bench press. So you can't use anywhere near a maximal load or even a submaximal load when you're in a shallow reclined ring row with one weight overhead. She's not doing an overhead press because it's not getting direct overhead. So it's more of an incline, but you're not stable at all to be able to like, why not just go on an incline bench press, and then go do ring rows, right? That's where when people see stuff like this is where I kind of get aggravated with like the Hollywood training, is someone sees this and they're like, I want to go and do that. And you're like, why? You can't maximize either one of these. And that's the whole idea, is that we need maximal loading. Maximal efforts doesn't mean like, this is the dumbbell I can only do once. That was my max. It means when you get to the 10th rep that you maybe only have 1 or 2 reps left in you. And you're like, that was a near maximal effort, a 95% effort. That's where muscle is developed, where bone density is established, where joint stability occurs. Like, you can't just rep it out with light weights, everybody. That does not work. I think at this point, I hope that we all know that. I can't go, 30-pound dumbbell lifted 10 times. Well, that's 300 pounds. Or I could pick up 300 pounds once. Either way, it's the same amount of work. And you're like, it's the same amount of total weight lifted, but it is not the same amount of work. Okay, there's 2 different, very different stress intensities being done there, to where the 30, or the 10 reps with the 30-pound dumbbell, that's nothing. You're doing a goblet squat with 30 pounds, but you could also deadlift 300. Like, that's nothing compared to the effort they would go into to pull that weight off the floor. One is an absolute maximal load attempt, and the other one is, a cardiovascular work capacity for that person. So even though the same amount of weight ultimately is moved, if you have 300 pounds of bricks and you move all of them at once, or you move one at a time all the way across, ultimately at the end, you moved all the same amount of bricks. How much effort was placed? How much stress was placed on your body when you move one at a time versus carrying 10 at a time, right? Like, it's different work capacities. And in this case, when you're trying to tear muscle mass, and this is good tearing, to build more muscle or stronger binding sites and stress your bones enough, you can't do it with the little tiny pink dumbbells over and over again. And then you eventually just over-exhaust your joints and your tendons by overusing them. So you end up getting injured, which is what most people are like, I don't want to lift anything heavy, I'm going to get hurt. So they grab that little purple dumbbell down there and they do that, and then they end up getting tendonitis or some type of itis, inflammatory overuse response. So right here, like she just can't really maximize either one of these. The row is really hard to hold on one arm. She's holding a dumbbell. Does this require great coordination and good core strength? And yeah, I'm not saying it's not hard. What I'm saying is she's not maximizing anything either on this as she goes, right? I would rather her just lay down on an incline bench press, and then go do rows. Like these rows are fine. What is the point of the rocking forward and back? You're like, oh, we want her quads to hurt a little bit. Then just go do hamstring curls on a physio ball, or be on the rings with your feet up on the physio ball, do the hamstring curls, then put your feet on the ground and just do the rows. Like maximize this rather than complexes don't make everything harder. Complexes are the marriage of two movements where you're bringing them together. If that makes a maximal effort, like a clean and jerk or a snatch, right? Or a snatch to an overhead squat, like those would be complexes that would make things harder. You clean a kettlebell and then you squat it. That's a complex of cleans and squats. You married those two together. But those loads could be somewhat accurate, in terms of both are challenging. When I'm trying to do a lateral shoulder raise with a split squat, I'm not maximizing my split squat at all. I'm limited by how much I can lateral shoulder raise. So now we're doing a short arm pullover, which is lat, serratus, long head of the tricep. But instead of being stabilized, I'm going to hold one leg up in flexion and the other one on the floor. So now I just have to work more right leg glute while it's not even a pullover, it's a tricep extension, right? Again, just keep both feet on the ground, do a really good pullover, and then go do single leg glute bridges. Like marrying these together is not an advantage. Now we're in a bird dog, and we will do a bird dog row on occasion, but we're training for floor stability for our clients to be able to get up and down off the ground. Like we're training that bit on purpose. This again, posterior delt, I would rather her do bird dogs and her mobilities, then come back and at the end of the video, you see her doing a hinged fly. Just do that, right? Just do that. Right here, she's limited by how much she can do a shoulder raise with because she can't stabilize the load, right? The heavy enough load. She'd be able to use that weight on the ground if she were standing up with both feet on the ground and another weight in the other hand, right? She'd be able to bilaterally balance basically as she does this. Here, like, yeah, you're getting right glute activation and some good cross-sectional work on the posterior chain isometrically. She's not 70 years old. She doesn't have a small, shortened gait. She doesn't have any issues with her standing postures, etc. So this is kind of pointless. It's just limiting how much her shoulder can do. Again, I'm not saying these aren't hard. They're just kind of seemingly pointless for what the training purpose is. Right around here, he said she does something for the legs, something for her shoulders, something for her back and her biceps, and then finished with, and then tricep work. So we ignore the chest and we ignore the hamstrings. Like I didn't get that part. I think he was just kind of filling time too with the instruction. But here's another one. You're limited by how much you can row. Look how easy the row is because she has to turn and press. Like this is more of a strength mobility. Like you're just trying to be more mobile, maybe practicing your thoracic mobility to reach overhead so you're better at get-ups, something like that. But it doesn't seem to any means that the row is any kind of challenge for her. And then the rotation and the press shows good overhead range of motion, thoracic mobility, not maximizing even close on either one. Now we're back into that single leg bridge position, but we're limited by how deep we can go. She may as well be on the floor. You're like, why are you on the bench? So I can drop my elbows below the floor. But then you turn sideways on the bench to be able to hold the bridge position, but now your elbow can't go deeper because the bench is in the way. So if you're going to do this, she should quarter turn right or left, get on the flat end of the bench so her elbow can drop all the way down and she can maximize the range of motion. And once again, yes, good core work. I would just keep both feet on the ground and double the weight of that kettlebell, and really get some good effort out of this. Like if you want to do a single-sided bench press, this is a big, complex movement. You got multiple joints, big muscles being trained. When you're on one foot, balancing, teetering off of a bench, like you're just not getting anything near a maximal effort. What, she got a 20-pounder? I mean, I bet she could do a 35 if she just put both feet on the ground, And here we go. Like this Again, I don't know if she's ever done this. I think she might have just done this for the video. Knees are locked, right? Back stiff as a board. I mean, that's that position. Elbows are locked out. Some things here, soften the knees a little bit. She could, chin position, neck position's great. Tiny little bend in her elbows. Lift her sternum up just a hair, and she'll get a really good retractive squeeze in there between the shoulder blades, and just do regular hinged flies, bent over flies. And this one is probably the one I was most impressed with, is these L chin-ups are damn hard. And probably the reason she never wanted to do them again, because her abs were sore for like 10 days. You could do one of these and your abs will be so sore. Like I demoed one 10 years ago. I did a demo. Just someone was like, what's an L chin up? And I just attempted, I did one with my legs out like that. Abs were sore for days. Every time I'd laugh, right? Just completely wrecked as I went through it. Like they're really, really challenging. So I don't know. Jessica Biel obviously has a passion to be fit and she looks great. I mean, look at those arms, man. Her delts look great. Her back looks great. I mean, I totally get it. I see the value and the hard work that she's doing. I just do. I would, as her coach, unless you're trying to like, here's the Jessica Biel special program and it's $49 a month and they're doing something like that. I think you're just trying to sell a program, because I'm guessing the majority of the good hard work she does is just regular old fashioned hinged rows, bench press, pull downs, chin ups, strict overhead press, goblet squats, deadlifts, split squats, and just load up. This does not have to be fancy. The basics work for a reason, and they will produce better results than doing any of that stuff that we just saw. It's just Hollywood fancy mumbo jumbo. That's like, it's why do any of that? Just to do something different? Like I think of some of the big Hollywood stars and I'm like, Chris Hemsworth, you never see him doing anything like that. You see him lifting. He's benching, he's doing cleans, he's goblet squatting, belt squatting because he's got a bad back. Hugh Jackman, deadlifting 500 pounds, right? Strict press overhead. I mean, Arnold's always on the machines doing his stuff. Yes, these are bodybuilders or big physique people, but even look at some of your other female action stars that are out there. Scarlett Johansson just did the Jurassic Park film. She's jacked. You know what she does? Like, I know her trainer. Like, it's just strict old school resistance training. Nothing fancy, man. Just in there lifting weights, deadlifting, right? Doing pull downs, doing pullovers, bench. Like, she just lifts hard, lifts heavy stuff. 6 to 12 reps with friggin' heavy weight. And that's how you build good muscles. Your diet is what leans you down to be able to see the muscles like that in her back, not those little exercises we just saw her doing. So just my 2 cents on this whole thing. I hope you enjoyed this. Not throwing shade at anybody who's at the same. I'm not talking ill about her coach or her programming. I do just think these exercises were probably selected as something to grab attention and be like, oh, look, here's this special program we have. But I bet you 95% of the time they're doing regular old school lifts, that all the research and all the years of battle-tested information prior to this is really the way you do it. As I guarantee you, side planking, doing a pull down with a red band overhead, not growing your lats at all. Does that give you better shoulder stability and side leaning lateral plank support balance? Sure. And how often you're going to be in that position or need that skill set, I don't know. But it's not making her lats look like that. That's definitely had zero to do with her lats looking the way that they did. Those pullovers helped a hell of a lot more. And tell you what, put your other foot on the ground, double that weight, you'll get some great results. Time, battle, tested results. All right, that's enough for me. Appreciate you all. Have a great day. Jessica Biel, you need help, let me know. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and help us grow our channel. We really appreciate that. Would love a like and a share on here and just help us get some more momentum and growth of the channel here. We'd really appreciate that. And until next time, please continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia. Take care, everybody.